Steve, coming off of Christmas training with the swim team, about 8 or 9 days of really working hard with the swimmers, but let's jump back a little bit to earlier in the fall, the first part of the dual meet schedule. There were some up and downs with this team. Talk about, the kind of the flow of the schedule so far to this point.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, we have had a lot of ups and downs. I think the positive you can take out of that is the team's definitely battle tested. We're not a super deep team where you are like 8 deep on a bench type of thing. It's a small squad. We're talking, 17 men, 15 women. So they're very tight knit. But every single body counts. And we've lost some close meets, but we've also had some meets where we really elevated our game and swam really well. And it's good because the team doesn't take stuff for granted. They know that if they're going to win, they're going to have to swim really well, and they're going to have to go at it pretty hard and be smart about what they do. And so I feel pretty good about the group we have in the water. I would say a highlight of the fall season probably would be the Lager Invite that we did in early December. Team swam really well there. We had a lot of lifetime best times and pretty much season best times across the board. And I felt great about that because I think it was good for the team to see that their hard work's paying off. We didn't rest a lot for that, but we did take the edge off a little bit, and so I think they're realizing that, okay, good things are to come in February once we're full, shaved, tapered, and ready to go. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of a recap of where we're at so far. Pretty stiff conference this year, I think. Linfield's really good, UPS is good, Whitman's good. We're right in the thick of things. I think our guys could win our conference championship. Our women are going to have to improve a good bit if we want to do that. But we're in a good spot.
What do you feel like you're able to accomplish over these last 9 days of training back here on campus?
You want the team to be fit and fast going into the month of January. And you need both. You need the endurance to kind of see yourself through a 3-day championship meet at the end of the year. But this is the time of year, too, where swimming fast is important because speed begets speed to a certain degree. And so training camp's tough because you're throwing both of those things at them. You're expecting them to do some pretty intense stuff and go pretty fast, and you're doing a lot of it. So swimmers tend to get a little bit sore, a little bit beat up, but it sets up the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season really well going into our championship meets. And they did a great job. I mean, they put in a lot of training. They really banded together and helped each other through it. I'm proud of them. I feel like things are going to go well at the end just because I'm seeing the good work that they're putting in right now. And so, I think as far as fitness level, they're doing great. That showed itself really well over the last 5-6 days. They're tired, but they're really fit. And so I'm excited to see what happens once we start to sharpen them up and let them rest.
About 6 weeks left until conference. Mm-hmm. 6 weeks of the heart of the schedule left. All of it on the road.
Yeah.
So talk about what challenges that provides this team and how that could draw them together.
Yeah, when you're on the road, you really have to be mentally tough. Especially that first meet going into a weekend, because it's not typically like we'll leave on a Thursday, spend overnight in a hotel, and then we swim Friday, Saturday. No, we step right off a bus Friday and get right at it into a swim meet. So you could be on a bus for 4 or 5 hours and no excuses. We're expecting them to get up and race hard. It doesn't matter if their legs feel rubbery from having been on a bus for a long road trip. And I like that because I feel like if you can swim fast under adversity with really adverse conditions, then you're going to be ready for anything come the end of the year. And so they've gotten used to that because we've had a very road-heavy schedule, and it does it does bond a team together, because it's sort of like us against the world a little bit, trying to overcome that sort of thing. And always when you have to go into somebody else's pool with, and you don't have a home crowd, things like that. It is challenging, and it's challenging in a good way. It makes them tougher, it makes them stronger. So.